See, that's part of what the confusion is. See, you got a lot of brothers talking about, I want to get myself out of the system. The prophet never said that. The prophet said, you are Moorish American citizens. He said, you are part and parcel of this said government. He never told more. He said, I'm trying to bring you back into the constitutional fold. Notice the words. He didn't say, I want to bring you into the constitutional fold for the first time. He said, I want to bring you back into the constitutional fold, which means what? Meaning that your Moorish forefathers were part of the original preamble citizens. There are two different citizens in the Constitution. You got the preamble citizen, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union, those are the ones who created the government. See, because the real way you have, in terms of republic form of government, the people create the government, not the other way around. If you was just made a citizen according to the 14th Amendment in 1868, that means you wasn't part of we the people. In the preamble, that's a whole nother class of citizenship. We, the preamble people citizen and the 14th Amendment citizen is two different things. This citizen, the preamble citizen, made the government. The 14th Amendment citizen, government made the citizen. It's the reverse. You see what I'm saying? And so now what you have here is a situation where you have Moors who took part in the ratification of the Constitution. One of the things I cite in here, in issue number 1, was a document that was given to me by Brother Shalimar, and this is taken from Montgomery Blair's writings, who was the attorney for Dred Scott. So you really see this. You see what Judge Taney and them say, but you really see what Montgomery Blair, who was his lawyer, said. Now, he quotes a particular, I'm going to read you a quote from him, right? And the reason why he cited this thing was to show and prove that our Moorish forefathers took part in the ratification of the Constitution. It says here, of the Constitution, and this is fully confirmed by the reference to the laws and records of that day. Quote, thus an act was passed in Massachusetts on the 6th of March, 1788, forbidding any Negro, not a subject of the Emperor of Morocco or a citizen of the United States, from tarrying within the Commonwealth. So what that's saying is that in 1788, if you wasn't a Moor, you couldn't even tarry within the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Right, and he was citing this to show and prove that we took part in the ratification of the Constitution as part of we the people. I'm going to read you another document here.
The Moor Sundry, I did that too.
Right, the Journals of the House of Representatives, 1789 to 1790. This is back then now. It says, quote, a petition was presented to the House from sundry free Moors, subjects of the Emperor of Morocco and residents in this state, to my South Carolina, praying that in case they should commit any fault amenable to be brought to justice, that they as subjects to a prince in alliance with the United States, talking about the treaty, may be tried under the same laws as the citizens of the state would be liable to be tried, and not under the Negro Act, which was received and read. So here you have brothers and sisters back then who was telling them, we not no Negroes. We not under your Negro Act. We are Moors. And this petition was recognized at that time. Just to show you that we ain't just making this up now. We had Moors back then.
Right.
Claiming this, all right? It's all documented. See, what I did, the elders told us a lot of this stuff. But they didn't give us no documents to substantiate what they were saying. They just told us this. So that's like having the answer to an equation without the equation. So they gave us the answer. I had to go back and work out the equation to find out how they derive at that answer. So all this you see, these journals, is just the research working out the equation. Because I said, how am I going to go to my people? When I first started lecturing back, what's this, I guess 92, 93, somewhere around that time. It was like a while, over 10 years ago or whatever. At that time I said, man, coming through Afrocentricity, I said, they're going to think I'm crazy. Talking about we wasn't all brought here from Africa, that we always been here. And I said, they'll laugh me off the stage. I wouldn't even be able to finish a lecture. You know? So I said, you know what? I got to come correct. I got to come with the documents. I got to come with the proof. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I did all the research before I started lecturing. And when I started lecturing, the opposite happened. Instead of everybody challenging me and laughing me off the stage, people was like, you know, my grandmother told us that we was, you know, they started remembering things that they already knew, that confirmed what we was dealing with. So it was the total opposite of what I thought would happen. Most of us, and I always do this with my audience, y'all know I always do this, but I always say the proof is in the pudding. Raise your hand if in tracing your family roots and your family genealogy, if you found any information dealing with Africa or even heard of one single story dealing with Africa, raise your hand right now. 1, 2. I said, raise your hand if in tracing your family genealogy or your family roots, if you ever came across any information dealing with Africa or story, anything, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. Now you see how many of us is in this audience now? 3 people, 4. Now, raise your hand if in tracing your family genealogy and roots, you heard any stories dealing with any Aboriginal tribe, Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, Muscogee, Blackfoot. Look at it. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. I do this in every single lecture, and I get the same response all the time. You are Aboriginal. You from right here. I have to speak on this because when I walk in the woods and I walk on this land, I hear the ancestors crying from the ground saying, "Why y'all so busy looking over on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean? What about us right here underneath your feet?" That's not to say we're not the same people. We're the same people. I'm not trying to disassociate myself with my African brothers and sisters. We're the same people, but we was on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. We had an empire on both sides. We got so much right here that we need to cast our buckets where we stand. My family in North Carolina, there was a whole town named after my great-great-grandfather called Latham, North Carolina, that's still on the maps to this day. They were full-blooded Cherokee. See, the game that was played, we are the true Native Americans. It was our ancestors that built the Mound and Pyramid civilization from Alaska all the way down to Peru, all up and down the Mississippi River. We built that. The ones who they call an Indian now are descendants of Mongols who mixed with European French traders. And those Mongols came here during the time of 1200 AD, during the time of Genghis Khan. The Dene, the Navajo, the Na-Dene speakers, the Apache, they were nomadic. When they came here, we already had cities and villages and mounds and pyramids all up and down the Mississippi. And when they came here, we got into war with them. And we eventually